Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. Um, I appreciate all the views and all the interest um, and the comments that are being made are very much appreciated. I've said many times before, feel free to put the comments down. It's not just for me, it's for anybody who reads. Takes the time to look at these things. Your words have meaning. The topic for this clip today is creation. Do you believe in it or not? Is it important? You know, does it have any relevance in today's world? Um, the focus of Opinions Plus, in my estimation, my effort, was to try to stress foundational issues, core issues, what people in a society grow upon, and not just based on religion or some philosophy out there, um, but based on your own thinking, based on life itself. That's why I address some of the things about Lao Tzu and Buddha and Christ. Um, my background is Christianity, so I kind of tend towards that as far as illustrations and ideas. And but it's not uh, aligned necessarily with that. And I'm trying to address everybody. I know it's difficult, especially in today's world, but I try to address everybody. Or my address is to everybody. And in my estimation, one of the foundational things, and I'm not sure what's going on with the society in general, it doesn't look as promising as I would have hoped. There is chaos. It's obvious that there's chaos. There's problems everywhere in the political system, in the cultural system, in the, uh, you know, I illustrate, for example, the use of vulgarities in the world today. It's commonplace. Everybody's effing this and as dot dot dot. Um, everybody's doing it. Major media is doing it. Politicians are doing it. Um, it's just everywhere. So, before you know it, the F word, which was the F word, uh, and, the mainstream media censors it. But it will stop being censored because it's not mainstream. It's mainstream. It's, everybody's using it. And it's the way the drift of society is, where it's going. And it's flowing along paths that are unknown to people. Primarily, and I've said it before, because of this media, this electronic media. Um, there's just so many ideas out there, people can't settle on one. The old Christians who pretend that Christianity is the old way, it's not. Um, Obviously, there's people in the Christian community who just are violent people who don't want to address the souls of others, the importance of the souls of other people, that their soul is more important than somebody else's soul in the eyes of God. Um, I mean, you see it. Uh, I don't have to illustrate examples of it. You see it out there. Um, but what does this have to do with creation? Well, do you believe that you're just a thing? Do you? Are you just a thing along with a rock and a hard place? Oh no, that's what you're between. But are you just a thing? Or are you a created being? Is there an intelligence behind this? Do you have an obligation to that intelligence to act in some way? Does that intelligence mean that you have to act in a horrible, disgusting way, as some people do? As some people have throughout the centuries. It's not just today. Transitions and change has happened throughout the millennium. We are no different. Sadly, we're in it. And, some people have commented that it started back in the 60s, the Civil War concept and the violence. And, well, I disagree. It's forever. As long as there's government, there's anti-government. As long as there's this, there's anti-that. It's just the way things go. But the internet creates, and the media blitz creates an avenue for every idea in the world to come forward. That is difficult. And, mainstream Christianity, for example, I don't know, I haven't heard the Buddhist speak. I've heard the Dalai Lama speak in some ways on some issues, but I haven't really heard anybody speak to the issues. That if you are a created being, you have an obligation to the created force, whatever you believe that is. Cultures throughout the centuries have changed that look, adapted that idea of just about everything. Rocks, alligators, princesses, you name it, it's there. Where it comes from, where it generates from, people who have an idea, who have a feeling, who have a belief, who have an obligation in their minds and hearts to spread a word. But in my estimation, and I've addressed it lightly on some other clips, all the religions speak, all the major religions that I'm aware of, speak to going to the good, a goodness, an acceptance of value in others, other souls, other entities. This is important to understand as a created being. Whatever your belief is, even if it's just a scattered thought process, which I encourage you to think about. Because these people who just think, well, we just came out of nothing. There's mitochondria, 2 billion years ago, just happened to attach to a cell and drill itself in and became this. And, it couldn't have happened in a million years, but, give it a couple of billion years, and yeah, it's certainly possible. Why is that? I don't think time has anything to do with it. If it's going to happen, it'll happen. It'll happen in 10 years or 1,000 years, whatever. It just happens. But these people have an idea that they are aware of the process, of what life is. Those who don't adhere, are not creationists, but are evolutionists or just atheists and just don't believe in any particular thing. And some are doubters, of course. There's no information solid except if you believe in the Bible or if you believe in the Quran or you believe in the Buddhist scripture, the Hindi scripture, you're going to believe it. Whatever it says, you'll believe it. But, or if you're a pagan, or whatever you are, you're going to believe in that if you have that belief structure. If you don't have a specific belief structure, then where do you go? Well, my argument is that whether you have a belief structure or not, whether you are committed to a particular belief or not, critical thinking, whether it's critical or not, but thinking, taking the time to become aware of that beginning process, that life structure, is important to create the people that we need in this world. The media doesn't, years ago, people were not educated, were illiterate. They just worked themselves to death, and certain people just got the bennies. Well, there's elements of that today. Don't kid yourself. If you're happen to be in a middle class environment or whatever, and you just want to have all the goodies, and you can vacation wherever the heck you want, or drive the car you want, or whatever it is, that's not all of it at all. Because there are billions of people out there who have nothing whatsoever. They live from hand to mouth. And, the choice was, in some cases, to have these children that they cannot feed. They cannot give, a future to. Others, they just propagate. They just have sex with multiple people and propagate. And the women have to suffer. The women primarily suffer because they're the ones who are the nurturers. They're the ones that can keep these children. And, years back when I was interviewing people, I interviewed people, some of these cultures that the men had the right to have sex with the women, and the women just had to have it. No contraception, no just whatever. And some of these guys didn't even know who their children were or how many children they had. But it doesn't matter to them. But it matters to most of us. Those few that things do not matter to are not the ruling issue. The ruling issue is you as a society. You control your future. Think about where you come from. Think about if you're just the same as a bloody stone or not. I don't think you are. I don't think I am. This life is a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a wonder. No human being will understand it. Give me a break. How can they? There's no way. You can't even tell what's wrong with the people today. The medicine is good, but it doesn't prevent disease. It just, reactivity. But, you try to do these things, about this nutrition, that nutrition. What does the nutrition do? I got to have vitamin B, or I got to have this or that or whatever. What does that do? Oh, it impacts this, polyphenol and this and that. What does that do? Well, how does it work? They don't have a clue how it works. They know the chemical combinations, but why does that happen? It's a miracle. It's beyond human ability. Humans can mimic what they see, but they cannot create. They cannot create life. I don't care if they grow amoeba in a batch of, or amino acids in a batch of water or not. But whatever it is, think about what you are. It's important. It creates the society of value because you're going to a good place. You're not just going to a selfish place. You're not just going to a power place or an angry place. You're going to a good place. Think about it. If you believe in creation of any way, I don't care what it is, but the power that created gives you power, helps you to live a better life. Going without that we're just the same as a bloody rock, is not going to lead us somewhere. And you have Christian apologists and use all this stuff, and they're very articulate. All these people are very articulate. Think about it. Just think about it. Thanks for listening, and I hope it has some value to you. If you like the conversation, please subscribe. If you can forward the link to somebody you know, please do. Um, put your comments down again for all who may read it. You have worth. Put it down. Thanks for listening. Take care.